Now let's try to put some of the skills we've learned in the earlier lessons together in this this fractal we're about to make. So I'm going to launch Ultra Fractal, accept the OK. Let's kind of close the gradient window for the minute. Okay, I've got to make a decision. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, so let's go for a Julia. We've been working with Julia pretty extensively, so why not use that as a good starting point in fractal types to explore. So we go F7. Not F8, we go F7. Okay. Nice classic Julia. Okay, we close it. Close the Mandelbrot and we'll enlarge the Julia. Okay, let's make a copy of it straight away. We'll go with since we used this in the masking exercise previously. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go again with the TIA. Okay, so let's give this layer a name. Rename TIA. I'm going to make it a bit smaller. What I could actually do is I could make the actual image a bit larger on my screen. So I'm going to keep the constraints. I'm going to make this on my screen 900. Okay. I've locked the maintain width height, so it'll keep the same ratio. Just make it larger. Go back to the outside tab again and drag that out. I've got TIA. Okay, let's go into 1E20 here for approximate infinity. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to zoom in on an area here. I'm not quite okay. I'm not quite sure what I did there. Right, let's zoom in on this area here. Okay, move it. Control click drag to move it. Let's hit F4 for the gradient. I want to make this probably black and white for the moment, or I could go in and use. Why not? We'll go into open grayscale 5. Okay, so there's that gradient we created earlier. Okay, I'm not liking this black too much, so maybe this one here. Yeah, just not liking the way it falls on the fractal. Maybe something like that. Okay, so we have it in linear mode. Outside tab linear. Let's just play with some of the other options and see what it brings up. Okay, that could be kind of nice as well. It's really just making it. Okay, that's too metallic for me. I'm thinking I'm liking. Okay, it's gone the other way. Of those, I think I'm liking square the most. Okay, it's got a bit of promise. Let me have a look again. If it's linear. No, linear is softer, so let's work with linear. Let us create a. What we could do is bring the gradient back for a minute. We'll give this a bit of color. Okay, this is affecting this area, and it's the one I just tweaked a second ago. Let's give this a bit of a blue feel to it. Okay. Again, just by mixing in the color. I mean, there's a variety. I mean, I could click on there. I could choose it from. Whoops! I could choose it from the color wheel in. So go something like that. Click there. It'll update. One a little bit darker. A little less saturated. Okay, maybe even a touch more towards the green side, something like that. Okay, okay. Again, if I want to move this gradient, I mean, I could click in there and move the whole gradient, to move just that 1 point, okay, without losing that value. If you go down to the opacity channel here, right click, go link, color and opacity, and then just move as anchor to the top, okay, and just move it left to right as you see fit. Okay, something like that will do me. Let's create another layer. Okay, first of all, actually, before I even do that, go back to this and just play with the, just see if this turns up anything. Make all chances look, okay. May or may not. Okay, I'm not really too afraid. I was happy enough with that on normal. So let's go up to our new layer. Haven't given it a name yet because I haven't decided what I want to do with it yet. So let us have a look at what our options are. Again, I'm hunting for a nice outside. It'll blend in kind of nicely with that. Let's have a look. Maybe something in. Incidentally, these, if you look at compatibility, you've got Fractal. Fractal was a program that predated Ultrafractal, from which really if you like, it supplied the roots or the foundation on which Ultrafractal was built. So a lot of this stuff is kind of, you know, Ultrafractal is backwardly compatible with a good bit of the Fractal stuff. So, you know, something like their basic colorings here were included in Ultrafractal. But again, you know, we could have a look just outside options, see what that throws up. Okay, iteration, real. Obviously nothing I'm going to use here, but just again, you can play around, experiment with that. I'm going to look in, the usual suspects for me here are DMJ, LKM, Kerry Mitchell, Mark Townsend, or Toby. But like a lot of Toby stuff, that, you know, they're great formulas, but quite slow to render on the screen. We could have a look at Harlequin. That looks kind of interesting. Have a look at that for a sec. Okay, I'm just going to go straight in and have a play. So there's no science to what I do. It's just purely playing around with, you know, I said it time and time again, it's playing around with buttons, options, no more. Average flavor. You know, could call it intuition. Now there's something that I really like. Let's have a look at this. Probably in screen or one of the light modes. Okay, if I turn that off, on, go into soft light. Okay, even hard light. At this stage, okay, I'm liking the look of what I'm seeing here. So I'm going to shift click. Okay, I'm gonna get more of the picture in. Get more of the fractal in picture. Okay. I might have a look here as Command J. Tweak the hue. Okay, I've got that selection only from the last one. That's why nothing happening. Okay, it's only really affecting the outside. When is that? Maybe to do with the blend mode. More than likely. Let me just cancel out of that for a sec. We'll make a copy of this layer. Okay. I'm gonna actually, the one I've turned off, I'm gonna right click. Okay, I'm gonna rename it Harlequin. Harlequin. Okay. And I'm going to basically lock it so I don't move it. Back on this layer 1, which is now the layer we're playing with. Okay, let's have a look at some of the options here. And go back and check out the coloring in a while. For now, I put it on distance. Okay, I think distance is going to be a failure. I just like that too much. Chopping mode was average furthest. We didn't look at it. Okay, average wins for me. Wins that battle. So next one, we could have a look at the variations. Okay. What did I say? In doodads earlier we looked at It morphs. I mean, you got variations here. So for me, I suppose they're similar. 3. Oh, well, there's some really nice stuff in here. I've kind of really not played around with this formula enough. So we look at spin. Okay, let's turn off the solid color. Aha, now we've got something. Okay, by turning off solid color, it's opened up a dimension here. So if we go back where we spin, take spin back to 1, 2. Okay, that hasn't made a lot of difference. 3. Okay, flavor 1. Okay, even that could work with it. Go back to flavor 2. Okay. We compare what we had and what we have. We could even end up using both of them. Okay. We have a look at the gradient on the TIA layer. This is what we come back. I did mention we come back and play with this. We go Command J first of all, see if there's anything nice in that. Let's get down. Okay, turn down the lumens a bit. Saturation. Okay, with layer 1, we have it in hard light. Let's turn down the opacity of that a bit. Okay, it's not really. Okay, so hard light. Leave the opacity on that full. Sorry, that's the lock layer. What have we got? Hard light. Yeah, yeah, opacity is down to 0. Okay. Let me see. Go into the gradient. Try the gradient slider. Okay. Now that's, I think I didn't like the black too much in the center, so just by actually moving it out. Sorry, I got a bit mixed up there, but I had the harlequin. I don't know quite what I did. It's kind of early, about 5 a.m. in the morning here, so kind of made a bit of a hiccup. Now if we go up to the harlequin layer, which we had saved from earlier, let's change the blend light, the blend mode of that. So again, that's Option Shift and page up or page down. Let's see what this does. Okay. So that's kind of nice. It's worrying me a little bit, this color up here. Let's oops. I'm going to shift click to enable them all, so I can zoom out a bit. It's kind of that red. Where's that coming from? It's actually coming from here. Okay, so it's coming from this layer. What's driving it? We'll find out by accidentally dragging points. What's driving this? If I actually just shift click on the visibility, okay, it's actually the blue in this gradient. Okay, because it's on hue at the moment, so I need to kind of tweak the blue here and hope it's not going to make too much of a difference to the rest of the fractal. So selection only, hue. Okay. It may actually have something to do with the position. Basically it's partly this white slider's to blame, I think. Yeah, it's partly this white guy. Let's see what we can do with him. Okay, so that gives us a bit more blue back in here. What else? Not sure where else we're getting this red from. There's a, okay, black. Okay, it seems to be the black on this layer. So if we bring that value up a bit, see what happens. Okay, it's affecting the main fractal. The main portion of it. It's got to be something else. Anyway, I'm not gonna worry too much about it. It's okay. It's too red there, but it's not too bad where it was. Let's see what else we can do. Let's try to put a texture this even. Okay, what we could do is try to put a texture on the green part of this and not the white. So what we'll do, hide the visibility of everything else. Okay, make a copy of this layer. Okay, so we're interested in this light blue area. So let's basically kill the opacity of everything else on this layer. Okay, you can basically, we can delete that point. Okay, we can drag, if there's a point there, we can control and put it in there. So we're getting a nice, okay, the white can go. What we could do is just add a point in here, drag the white down, and then drag this blue point over. Let's see, I'm not sure, that's not really getting it. It was this area here that we need. So let's bring these, see if first of all going that way with, okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Okay, that brings it back. So that's what we're going to use. This is going to mask nicely that blue area. Okay. Let's close the graph editor, the gradient editor. We'll create a new layer on top of layer 2. Okay, layer. Oh, sorry. So layer 2, we're going to right click, rename this mask. Layer 3, we're going to rename it texture. We may actually add the name of the texture in a minute. So this layer 3, what is this? This is a harlequin. Okay, I'm not sure we're going to. Okay, so we want to rename this harlequin base, just in case we use the other one. Okay, so TIA. So we want to turn this into a texture. So let's have a look and see what our options are first of all. Before we do anything else, we go change the gradient. So open. We go back to this full grayscale again. We'll have a look in harlequin. Are there any? There may be texture options in here. Masking, morph parameters, texture parameters, FPM texturing. Okay, seems to be automatic rather than having a switch. Okay. So how's that? I mean, just at a click of a switch, we've got some kind of a texture going on here. You can see it here. Let us change the mode to multiply. Okay, or to something like hard light. We could play with the graph here in hard light now. Okay, turn down the opacity a bit. I think I like multiply a bit more. Again, we can play with these points, these nodes. Let's change the actual. We've got the amount. Okay, we can basically change the initialization, which is can have a drastic effect on, you know, whether you get lines or spots or just noise, kind of like Perlin noise or whatever. See if that works. Okay. Let's leave it on Z for the moment. Change the size. Okay, you can play around with the functions, pattern, FBM scale. Something I'm interested in here. So let's see what this does. If I'm going, let's type in 2 for the range. If I'm going towards 0, it seems to be getting bigger, yeah. So if I'm increasing, I think we had this in an earlier example. So if I'm going 10 in an earlier module, if I'm going 10 and up, it seems to be, is it getting smaller? Yeah, it's getting smaller. The more I go up, the smaller it gets, and it's kind of got this nice marbled effect to it now. I'm going to plug in just randomly 8 to see what that does. Okay, so that seems to work. Let's close the gradient window for a sec. Okay, let's change this mode again to. Aha, I haven't applied the mask. So on the mask layer, if I right click, use as mask. Okay, should now just be affecting those blue areas of the mask. I can go back to the texture layer. Okay, we'll say hard light. Okay, I can bring this way down. Bring the visibility down. Let's have a look where we are. So other harlequin we hit. Okay, that seems to do something in the way of color. Okay, it's got hue, which would make sense. Okay, that's bringing back that black I liked. So I want to try to get this black on white effect if I can do it. These are just cool with ethereal. That's kind of nice as well. Soft light. I wonder if we can go with. Let's go up to multiply for a sec. Okay, I want to just tweak the graph here a bit. Try to introduce, if possible, a bit of white into that black, or a bit of separation. So there you go. So let's then change this to soft light. Okay, yeah, it's gone the other way. We might go back and even tweak that in. So look at soft light. Go back to the graph. Oops, docked one I didn't want it to do. Let's go back the other way. Okay. And that's working out quite nicely. What you can also do is just copy the layer. Okay, you can basically try changing the blend modes again, just randomly. See if you got something. You know, sometimes all you need to do is to make a copy of a layer, you know, to double the effect, and it can be quite pleasing. Don't like hard light. I can't decide between this multiply and the soft light. I think multiply is winning it for me. Definitely winning for me at the moment. Okay, something like that. So I'm going to call this exercise done. Okay, it's just done a bit of real time masking, masking in the in the workflow process. So I hope you've been able to follow this. This is really our first delve into the fractal making process.